Good morning, folks. How you guys doing today? Happy Monday. Hope you're doing well. All right. Yeah, let me know how things look. The bitrate, I think, looked pretty good, but it had a couple spikes. If it gets laggy, let me know. I'll just start blaming Comcast again. Right, we're moving on to the second half of Chapter 4, Hydration. Thank you so much. Here we go. Got a little Soylent Mocha here today. And a hat. All right, you got it. I remember to find my favorite hat now. A little Mickey Mouse hat here. I mean, Comcast, we can always blame Comcast, which is good. It's real good. I took a couple of my kids sledding yesterday, and one of them had a snowboard, and it's got like it's a wood snowboard, and it's got the feet straps, foot straps, feet, whatever, so like to hold yourself in. And it wasn't a big hill. It's not too steep or anything, which is a good speed for most of us. As we brought a couple sleds and we brought the one snowboard, and then my mother-in-law found these foam-looking snowboards that I think she said Costco had or something. So I tried one of the foam ones, and I was just going real nice and slow down the hill. It wasn't very steep, and that was really fun. I think I prefer sledding to snowboarding, but it's like, okay, let me try the wood one now, because my daughter had been using that one. And I give that one a shot, and I start going, and that goes a lot faster for some reason. I don't know if it's like the wood bottom or what it is, so I make it maybe a third of the way down the hill, and then I'm losing control, and I just wipe out. And I used to be able to, fall and roll and wipe out a lot when I was younger. I'm really sore today after that. Just, one hitting, rolling, landing on the hill and getting up again. So I'm a little slower this morning. Didn't sleep quite so well. But thanks to Tylenol, I'm doing all right. So, there's that. All right. So we're going to talk about files, the other half of Chapter 4. Let me fire up beans. And this is actually really cool. Files are really neat. So the only thing we've done so far is working with input from the console, where we'll ask the user something, we'll print to the console, and then we'll go get some input off of whatever they type in. So, which is good, because then our programs can be more interesting, and they can react to whatever the users are giving them, right? And we can do different things based on what they've typed in, and we can control that and check for values, but it means if I want to do something with some information, I have to type all of that information in every time. I got to type it in, type it in, type it in, and then I have no way of storing information outside of RAM. When we talk about RAM as our volatile memory, it's really fast, but it really only is there while our program's running. So there's no long-term storage at that point. So being able to write things to disk to save them for long-term storage is fantastic, and being able to read things from disk so we don't have to be asking the user to type it all in at a time is awesome as well. So let's take a look. Okay, let's pick the right folder here. That looks like the right one there. So this is Chapter 4, Files. It's actually really cold in here today. What about my jacket? I think maybe my laptop stays up and running, maybe it'll heat up the room a little bit. We'll see. All right. And I can close down this package here, this project. So I did get all of your first projects graded, and overall you guys did really well. I tried to be a little bit flexible on the math if it wasn't perfect. But if it was just totally wrong, you probably lost a point on the math there. But I think most people went the route of calculating perimeter and then just dividing that by the board length, which I think we talked about being incorrect. Does that ring a bell? Where if the only thing you're doing is looking at your total perimeter divided by the length of a board, you're not accounting for, well, how many posts can I connect with a single board? Because that number is going to be way different. So you might have lost a point if your math was really bad, but in general, if you did that, you should have gotten the full points for it. So do take a look, and if you don't agree with your score, you're welcome to argue with me. It's okay. It's not going to hurt my feelings. Or I'll be happy to explain what you got or why you got that score. You should be able to see your rubric score. It should show you like, hey, you got a point for this, point for this, point for this. I guess because the math was 2 points, right, for properly calculating the number of boards required. So it might show 0, but then I gave you back 1 later, and you'll see in the comments there I'll say that, hey, he lost 1 point for this thing here. But in general, you guys did really well, really well. So that's good. Hopefully it's going well for Project 2, because that one is coming up as well, right? Project 2 in... Maybe I should just look at the calendar. It's in here. February 22nd. That's a week from today. Okay. We'll get started early. Got office hours you guys can come to. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. A little bit of time on Thursday. Thursday's a little bit rougher. Just have half an hour before the evening class. Yep, so next week, 10 a.m. it's due. So if you wait until after Thursday, it's difficult for me to try and help you. I do have other things going on, and I've gotten rather busy with projects around the house. I've got a whole to-do list, which is good. It's nice to get some stuff done. So my time is rather limited. So please work ahead. Right, try and get it done so that if you're working over the weekend, you're not stuck waiting on me trying to find some time to chat with you. That doesn't always go very well. Okay? So work early. Right? That's I guess that's my best advice. Don't leave it for last minute. Sunday night, right? I can only answer so many questions Sunday night before I go to bed. So if you do have questions, please let me know. I haven't actually heard a lot of questions for Project 2 yet, so I don't know if that just means it's easy, or maybe it means that you guys haven't started yet, or what. But we also do have the study group sessions, Monday and Wednesday right after class over Zoom with our awesome SI. Definitely encourage you guys to go to those. You are welcome to chat about these. Remember, you're welcome to talk with each other. The minute you start taking notes to, okay, I'm going to type this in, or I'm going to type this in, and then I'm going to type that, we've probably gone too far. But just general chatting about your approach. Hey, I think we have to have a loop that'll, probably wait until we do something. That makes a lot of sense. You guys are welcome to do that sort of thing. Okay? Happy to have you guys chatting. It is a lot easier to bounce ideas off of each other. Oh, great. Glad to hear that they're hoping they're good for you there. Yeah, I was super excited we could have an SI for class. I think that's such a cool thing we can offer occasionally. I don't actually know the rules on when you get them and when you don't. Maybe I should chat with our people over at the ASC. And in addition to that, don't forget, where is it here? I'll just go to the homepage and see if I can find it. It's got to work, right? Can't be too hard to find it here. Yes, I have to find someone who wants to do it. That's right. Do they help with recruiting people? Let's see. So we need to find the Academic Support Center. Look at that. Okay, so under Academics, you find the Academic Support Center. We can navigate our own website. Then we want to find about tutoring. Where do you think tutoring is? Tutoring, seminar, SI schedule. There's this big button right here in the middle. I like it. I have yet to actually navigate the webpage to find this. I just keep that link in my syllabus. Check out the Orchard Ridge schedule. This is an Orchard Ridge based course, and we have all the programming classes here at Orchard Ridge. And take a peek. Right, we have individual free one-on-one tutoring by appointment. Okay, check with them and see. Mondays 4 to 6, Wednesdays and Thursdays 12 to 4 are possible available times. Again, check with them, but you can definitely take advantage of that as well. So we got lots of opportunities for you folks. So if it didn't go well in Project 1, definitely get in touch. Oh, did you? Okay. I just assumed because there was no CIS listed on the other campuses that it wasn't available. That's really cool. That's good. That's good info. Yeah, so if it didn't go well, remember, we don't get to forget anything ever. Everything that we're doing is going to build and build and build and build. So you've got to reach out. You got to take advantage of these extra opportunities to keep up to speed. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, our tutors are fantastic. We've been very fortunate that we've got some good people interested in tutoring and running SI sessions and whatnot. Because it doesn't pay well. We'll be honest. But it's academia. I mean, I don't think anyone gets into academia expecting the pay to be fantastic. So, which is a little bit sad, but that's okay. That's one of those things. So, just a fact of life, maybe? I don't know. I feel like I've heard in other countries teachers get paid better. I don't know if that's just one of those myths that they talk about, or if that's like actually the case. I did have a lot of fun. Someone made a spoof on what would it be like if we were as hyped for hiring teachers at schools as people were for like the NFL draft or whatever the basketball league is called, NBA draft. Like if we were all excited for hiring teachers that way. That was a funny one. All right. Okay. So yeah, and if you do have questions about your score on the project, please let me know. The Department of Defense had to do a bake sale to buy a new bomber. What if they had to do a bake sale to fundraise? They'd have to sell quite a lot of baked goods, I think, to fund that project. Was that new? Weren't they working on a new jet? And it's like some ridiculous thing. Air Force generation fighter jet cost. Yeah, something like this new project, right? It's ridiculous. Builds the next fighter. There was some plane. Yeah, 300 million a piece for the next jet. This looks like a good link. You can check this one out. The F-35, is that what it is? Okay. Yeah, hello F-35. Wasn't there like this whole thing about its production cost? Or development cost? Oh, and they're going to buy 414 of them at $300 million each. Huh. That's a big number. That's just a really big number. But you know what's interesting, though? Interesting. Do you know how much software goes into one of these suckers? The answer is a lot. A lot. You could buy a lot of Big Macs with that money. You sure could. You sure could. If I ever win the lottery, which the statistical probability of that is near zero because I've never bought a lottery ticket, but I suppose someone could give one to me. So I don't want to say that the statistical chance is zero, right? Because there is a chance someone would give me a ticket. Because why not, right? If I ever did, I would make sure that everyone could get a Big Mac in my hometown here. Just keep an account on file there at Mickey D's, and everyone would get Big Macs every day. Just come on in, get your Big Mac. I mean, what a great use of money that would be, right? The fries, no. No. Big Mac, yes. Don't they have that Drake meme? It's like it's the no to the one thing and then yes to the other. I forget how that one goes. We should make some memes. Oh, I've got to show you. You guys, this is not a math class, but these are hilarious. I've got to show you some of these. My friend. Let me see if I can find them. Nope. Can't spell or type. See if I can find him here. There we go. He was having so much fun on Valentine's Day with his math jokes. Math-themed Valentines. I just thought this was hilarious. And I didn't understand half of them. Like, I've not taken enough math to understand all of these things. But some of them I did know. And I could appreciate some of these. If you take a stats class, you'll have a lot of fun. Stats is super useful too. I think that's the most applicable math to anything we do in software. Not to say that calculus is bad or anything, but just in general, I think stats is very applicable to all things we do in software and understanding numbers better. Definitely want to plug math. The calculus has been fun and interesting to learn, but yeah, I don't use it as often, really, just for fun things. So yeah, here you go, some math Valentines. Okay, where were we? We were doing something with files, weren't we? All right, so a couple things with files, right? You're either going to be reading from files or writing to files. And we typically separate the two. It's not all that common that you're going to have a file open that you're going to be reading values from and writing to it. It does happen, but we're just not going to get into that right now. Next semester, if you continue on and take 2151, you can do more advanced file operation sort of stuff. But for now, we're just going to either open them and read them, or we're going to open them and write to them. And in general, the process is not too bad. First, you have to tell Java what the file that you want is. Right, so you find the file, and you're going to open it. That's step one. Then you're going to read or write from it. Read from it or write to it, I should say. That's step two. And then step three, you close the file when you're done with it. Right? That's it. Those 3 steps. So let's work on writing to a file first, and then we'll worry about reading from it after. So if you want to write to a file, we've got a couple things that we're going to do, a couple steps, right? The first one that we do, that's the wrong window. That's the wrong window. First thing we want to do is we want to open the file. So we have a class here in Java that helps us do that sort of thing, which is awesome. Sorry, I got to try and fit some windows over here so I can see you guys still and see all the notes. So I don't remember any of this stuff. I'm always copying from examples. That's Right? Don't waste your brain power trying to remember what these things are. Just know where to go find them. Is your best bet there. All right. So what you do is you use something called a print writer. I don't want to call it a printer. A print writer. And this is the class for it. The class or type is print writer. And then what we're going to call it is whatever we want to call it. Mr. Gaddis likes to call it the output file. We'll call it the output file. And this is our name. It could be Apple. Right? Doesn't matter. This is our name for it. So give it a nice name, a nice meaningful name. And we say it equals a new print writer. And then in the parentheses, we give it a string for the file name. So you pass the string file name to print writer to open a file for writing. So we're going to call this one, I don't know, how about my friends.txt and your semicolon. Now, Java is going to be upset about a couple things here, and that's okay. Right? We can take care of them little by little by little. So the first thing it's upset about is it doesn't know what a print writer is. And it says, hey, do you want to import java.io.printwriter? We say, yes, please. And you're welcome to type this stuff by hand. Right? There's nothing wrong with typing it up by hand in there. I'm just lazy, and I want to make the computer do the work for me. Okay? So that's step one. Now it's still mad at us. We have another error here, another red line. It says unreported exception, file not found exception, must be caught or declared to be thrown. Now these ones are weird, and sadly we're not going to learn to do the right thing and handle these. Just don't worry about it. We'll get there eventually. Near the end of class, I'll spend a little bit of time pulling some of this stuff forward. And again, it's another topic for 2151. If you continue on, like what I'm going to say is the right way to deal with this. What this means is an exception is something that crashes your program. You guys remember when we were trying to do like integer.parseInt and we would hand it something that was not an integer and we get all those red lines on the screen and it would stop running and crash? That's an exception. An exception is a bad thing. An unexpected thing. Unexpected is maybe not the right word for it, but a bad, unexpected thing happened. An exception happened. If we don't do the right thing, it crashes our program, which makes us very sad, right? I don't know why, but I used to be a much more patient person, and nowadays, if something on my phone or my laptop, if it locks up and crashes, it's, I don't know, like it just upsets you. You just get this like visceral reaction, like, why is it not working right? Or maybe that's just me. It might just be me. I hope it's just me, and you guys don't get so upset when your programs crash. But in general, having your program crash is considered very bad form. And you're just going to upset your users. Whoever's using your application is not going to think very kindly of it. Right? And typically we want to avoid upsetting our users. Because I guess it depends on what kind of software you're writing, but generally happy users make you more money. Right? That's sort of how things work, right? We keep our users happy, they keep using our product, or they keep buying our product, or whatever it happens to be, and we continue selling our software and making money, doing that sort of process. Dusty, it's a feature, not a bug. Oh, if you write a program that crashes on purpose, you're just a cruel kind of person. Is that like some kind of joke app? All right, so the quick thing here, which is again not the right thing, but the quick thing here is you click the little light bulb and it says add throws clause for java.io file not found exception. We're going to click that button, and what it does is it adds a line here after main. So before the curly brace, it adds it to main. So what we're doing is we're telling Java, I know main might crash, and I don't care. That's literally what we're doing here. We're saying, hey, this thing might crash. Good luck. Have fun. And it did add another import as well. If you're sick of adding all of those imports, you can change one of them to a star, java.io.star, and it will find everything in a single line. I don't mind multiple lines like this. And again, the computer does it for me. So I don't care if it's a star or not because the computer does it for me. Okay? That's the goal. So that's step one. That opens a file. Right? So this is step one for file IO. Open the file. And IO, stands for input, output. Input and output. It's file IO. File input, file output. Input, output. IO. That's what IO stands for. I feel like there's a song there, which you guys really don't want to hear me sing. I've actually been asked by my wife to no longer sing to the children because my singing is that bad. I have this thing that happens, I don't know if it's my ear, my brain, whatever it is, but I'm literally tone deaf and cannot tell if I'm singing the right note or the wrong note for a song. It makes it really hard to hear songs as well, like when people hum a tune or recognize a tune. One time she was humming the tune to Happy Birthday. I don't know why. It was not one of our kids' birthdays, but she was just humming it for fun. And I was like, I know this song, but I couldn't tell you what song it was. So there's that. Yeah, you don't want to hear me sing. Maybe we could get away with a sea shanty. If you guys find a good sea shanty or a programming related sea shanty, I'd be up for singing that on stream. Maybe I can make that a channel reward. Save up your points to hear me sing a programming sea shanty. That could be worth it, right? I'm sure that's a good use of points for entertaining people. Oh, and I think I mentioned, sorry, this is story time apparently. My first official review is coming up as a new faculty member, so we get to have the dean come in and join me in class. I don't know which class though, so I've got to send her my schedule and say, hey, this is what I'm teaching. Come on by. It's much more fun when they can come in person, so we'll see if she can figure out this Switch thing. I'm sure she can. That was a joke. Dusty, if you're posting links, it like auto mods them. I'm sorry. If you want to chat them to me in Discord, I can post them through. But that's like an auto mod feature. I'm sorry. I think there's a way to turn it off, but it's probably better to be on. I think it reduces those like Autobot spammers who come in and say, hey, do you want to be famous? Come buy some followers. I've never understood, by the way. Okay, so we've opened the file. A sea shanty. Oh, the C programming language for a sea shanty. That's a good one. You know, I've been working on my jokes for you guys because I know how much you appreciate them. And I was trying to think of a pun having to do with woodworking. And I finally came up with one, and I think I nailed it. Okay, so we've opened the file. Now we're going to write to the file. Okay, so to write to the file, it's actually really nice and familiar. Instead of saying system.out.println, right, where we print some string to the console, we're going to say output file, right, our variable name for it, print or print line. And again, the same difference, right? You can print something and it won't add the new line character. If you print line or print ln, it will add the new line character for you. So we can start giving a list of friends. Oh, here, we'll do my kids here. Okay, so we'll add all my kids. Add them to the file. And I'm just going to copy paste because I've got a bunch of them. Okay. We got Joy, got Jeb, got Vivi. Genevieve's the full name, but she goes by Vivi. Got Journey, I've got Jubilee, and I've got Jackson. Those are my kids. Okay. So you just print line. Right? Print line, just like we've been writing output to the screen, we're just doing it to the output file. So it's whatever our variable name is here for it, .println. Right, so this is writing some data. Write some data. Step 2. And then step 3. Close the file. Be a good neighbor. Close the file. Not check error. Close. I'm going to close. Technically, when Java ends, when our program ends, the file will get closed anyway, but it's really bad form to leave this off. Okay, so always close the file. That's step 3. Okay, so let's give it a run. Now, a couple notes here. When you're creating files, let's go find GitHub. No, that's the wrong GitHub. Hang on. That's the wrong documents folder. Oh, come on. That's all my GitHub scripts. That's not what we want. This is the one we want. Yeah, here we go. I'm getting there. 1500, winter. Why do I still have the fall one around? I don't think I need the fall one around. Okay. Here we go. Okay, so we're in chapter 4 loops. Maybe. Okay. So here's the chapter 4 folder. Awesome. I'm going to go to GitHub and let's take a peek. It says it ran, but I'm not sure if it actually did or not. It might be one of those compiling things where it didn't actually run. Should check that setting. Come on, GitHub. Let's see, 1500 winter. There we go. Aha, did have it. Good, so a bunch of files, right? And you'll notice there's another one here, mykids.txt, that I can see the contents of. It's not chapter 4 loops, that's why I didn't see it inside of it. It's chapter 4 files. You guys, you gotta be paying attention when I do stuff like that. Obviously, we're talking about files today, not loops. There we go. So it puts the file right in this directory. Now, this gets a little funny, okay? This is a little funny. There's no good output there. Let me uncheck that setting anyway. Now what happens is I just gave it a file name. I didn't tell it where to put it. So by default, everything here is what we call a relative path. So relative means it will make this file in the same directory that it's running. And you'll notice this command up here that runs, this ant command, it's this whole Java process, don't worry too much about it, is in my users, documents, GitHub, 1500, winter 2021, chapter 4 files. So this is the working directory. So when Java runs and I want to create a file, it will create it in my working directory, whatever directory it's in. So you do need to be a little bit careful when you do file names because it'll put them in that directory. Okay? Most of the time that's good. We like that, because wherever we've opened it, wherever we're running it from, we're going to make the files. Now, sometimes you don't want that, and what you can do is you can give a full path to your file name. You can say, I specifically want it in this directory. Now, pathing is hard, which is unfortunate, because in Windows land, we use backslashes, and in Mac land and Unix land, they use forward slashes, and it gets confusing. There's better ways of going about it, and they've got some tools that'll do conversions for you, but remember this idea that like Java can run on any computer is true, but if you give it the wrong path, you're going to confuse it. It's not that smart, so there's ways to work around it. I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to tell you do everything in a relative path. It will just make life so much easier. Okay, for now. If you want to do the hard thing, we can do the hard thing later, but I'm not going to ask you to do the hard thing now. This is our first programming class. Just know that you can fix the problem later. But for now, just everything's relative. Okay. Another word of warning here. Let's take a peek. If you just, open up the file here, it's just a text file. I can open it and change it and modify it and close it and whatever here. And, let's just add some more. Another JName. Name. Here, I'll go change that file. Notice GitHub sees it eventually. There it is. The GitHub saw the change, right? But what happens when I run my program again is when you call printWriter on a file, it is going to delete the contents of that file and then recreate it. When I run it again, eventually, there we go, running. You come back, I have lost changes to it because printWriter will overwrite. So be careful. I always want to say printer writer. I don't know why. printWriter will overwrite an existing file. And overwrite means anything that was in it, gone. We're only putting new contents up there. Okay? So just be careful. It's okay. We just need to know that it's going to do that. Okay? If you don't want to do that, we have another option. Okay? So let's be done with that one for now, and let's do another example. So this is creating a file to append text to the end of it. Oh, and I did skip over, when you deal with files, really there's we'll call them two types of files. The ones we're going to be working with are all text files. These are text-based files that have just text contents inside of them. Those are the easy ones. Those are the ones we can open up and look at and play with, and just human-readable files. Really nice and easy. The other kind of file is called a binary file. And it's called binary because it means that there's a particular way of encoding the data that a particular application knows and knows how to open. So text files, we can just go and open, right, with our text editor. Code are text files, right? This just has text inside of it. Binary files are things like Microsoft Word documents. So if I put a new Word document out here, this one here, let's open it up. Double click to open it. There we go. When this saves, we're not saving just the text. We're saving all sorts of information that give it the formatting and whatever other stuff Microsoft Word wants. Okay, I put in test and closed it down. So I can open it in a text editor. So like Microsoft Visual Studio Code is a text editor. It's going to be gibberish. Pure gibberish. Let's see. Sorry. There's a... Here, so it says, hey, it can't be displayed because it's either binary or uses unsupported text encoding. We don't open it anyway. Yes, we do. Thanks for the warning. Most of this is nonsense. I think I can find the word test in here if I'm lucky. So I'm going to hit Control F, find, and see if I can find test. Oh, I can't even find it. Okay, sometimes you can even find the text of it somewhere. Remember when we opened up our class files, the Java class files? Occasionally you can find some text in there. Okay, occasionally you can. But mostly it looks like gibberish because it's expecting to be opened with Microsoft Word. And Microsoft Word knows what this nonsense is. So we're not going to deal with binary files. And GitHub doesn't do well with binary files either. Right? It says, oh, it's a binary file. It knows if it changed. It can't do that cool line level, hey, this line changed, this line changed, this line changed kind of tracking. It just, hey, the whole thing changed. Good news. So we're just going to dump that. Okay, so if we don't want to delete the file every time we recreate it, we can append. We use a file writer. A file writer, I don't know, my file writer equals a new file writer. And this will be, we'll call it lucky numbers. And then we'll call this one run log. Run log. And so this .txt extension, remember file name extensions only care, or they tell Windows this is what kind of file it is, this is how you can open it. We don't need file name extensions, it's just a convenience. Hey, recondite? Yeah, there's no tag there for Java programming, or category for Java programming, or whatever I put in there. The only thing that had the word programming in it was basic. And it's an intro level course, so it is basic, but it's not the basic language. So thanks for dropping on by. So our file name extensions just tell Windows or your operating system, this is the kind of file it is, so you can double click it and it'll just open. And we just open it up and close it. Right? That's so you don't actually need it there. So I could leave it off, but it's going to look really funny. All right, file writer's new. I haven't used it before. Let's add an import for it. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, and now, there's a unreported exception, IO exception. Okay, sure. Let's click the button, add the throws. Right, it adds a bunch of things up at the top. Sure. Bad stuff could happen, we're going to pass the buck. Bad stuff happens, that's okay, we just crash. We'll let someone else deal with it. Once we have a file writer now what we do is we create a print writer. My other, I don't know, it's my run log output file equals a new print writer. Now, instead of giving print writer the name of the file here, right, I don't have to give it the string name. What I give it is the file writer. So, a print writer and hand it a file writer instead of a file name. Put a semicolon there. That's just some habit, I guess, right? Yeah, science and tech category, I could do that. I don't know. I guess it would help people find, maybe. I don't know how people actually browse around and find streams on Twitch. You just sit and pray to the algorithm gods that you get found, right? Yeah, general science and tech. I could change it, maybe. I don't mind being rather obscure. It's okay. This is actually a college course that I prefer using Twitch instead of Zoom. Okay, so once we create the print writer, we're now going to be appending data. So now when I add some data here, let's, for fun, let's make a random. So random equals a new random. Let's take my run log output file. Oh, we got to import random, don't we? Thank you, NetBeans. Yes, I want to import random. .println random.next int. No, not next boolean. Not next boolean. Next int. Ooh, the next boolean would be really easy. Oh, you guys aren't doing the card game. Nope, that's the other class. Never mind. You'll just print a random number to it and see what happens. And then when we're done, remember, run log output file, close. Make sure you close. You know, I think there's a way. Let me look it up. This is interesting. Get current date time. I wanted it to be a run log, so I should probably put like the date and time in there. Date. Huh, that's probably this first hit, right? Probably the first hit. Yeah, we want, okay, local date time now. You do that? Let's try it. Let's see if we can print that out. So run log output file print, and I don't want a new line here. And what is that line? It said local datetime.now. Like that. .now. Doesn't know what that is. Can we import it? Import java.time.localDateTime. Check it out. And then I'm also going to want to print log output file. Print, let's add a space in there, right, to separate those, or maybe a space and a dash. Then we'll add the random number and see how well that works. And I'm going to be good here and cite my source, right? Like you guys do. Come on, click the window. Click the window. Okay, remember all that other stuff is nonsense in the link here. We don't need any of that. Anything that comes after the pound sign is just a additional stuff. It's client-side linking, or whatever it is. I forget. There's a technical term for it. I should really remember, but that's okay. A time from boom. Look at that. I cited the source. You guys are impressed, right? And you guys are. You should be. Let's see what we get. See what we get. They had a nice formatter, and I was hoping I don't need to use a formatter. I have to do this date time formatter. I just want to know what we get. Let's see what we get for a run log with a random number. Run log. Yeah, look at that. 2021-02-15 T 104808 point a bunch of milliseconds, and our random number is negative. That's a big number. Some big number. Cool. So we wrote to it. It still created the file, but now let's make sure that that one saves next time I run it. Because the goal here wanted to see if this would append data. And appending just means adding it on to the end. Adding data to the end. Did it run already? No way. I don't think I actually hit run. Run. There it goes. Yeah, I didn't actually click run. I didn't think it could be that fast. There we go. There we go. Let's see. Is it appending? Come on. Refresh. Refresh. Uh-oh. 1049? Didn't append, did it? It did not append. You know what I did wrong? I did it wrong here. File writer needs run log and true. Name of file, comma true. This comma true puts it in append mode. That's what it is. No, if you want to shoot me the link in Discord, you can shoot me the link there. It doesn't even give me a chance to auto mod it. I thought I would get a chance to mod it there. But you can send me a link in Discord. All right, so if we give it the true, there we go. Now it should put it in append mode. We can take a look. And we should see that it adds to the file. Maybe. Maybe it will. That one took 9 seconds. Whew. There we go. Now our run log is working. And every time we run... Oh, yeah, the real Java doc. Thank you. Yeah, the real Java doc is pretty handy. Java doc, local date time. Let's see if we can Google it or Bing it, because they give me free coffee. docs.oracle.com/java.se/8/docs/api/java/time. This looks like the official one. I like it. Thanks for sending me the link. I got you. I got you. Yeah, sometimes these docs are a little overwhelming, but all the things we can do, right, which is cool. Get day of week, get day of the year, get the hour, get the minute, get the month, get the nanosecond field. There we go. There we go. That's cool. Now, current date and time. You can get it from a particular clock. You can get it from a particular time zone. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, JavaDoc, they've got a lot of good stuff here. I think most of it comes up just in our help. Like when we just type stuff in, we get like the little helper text. I try and focus on that. I don't know. I think JavaDocs are overwhelming sometimes, but definitely helpful for sure. Cool. So we've been able to write to files either where we're going to overwrite it or where we're going to append, right? And do it the right way. Don't forget your true here for append mode. Otherwise, it doesn't put you in append mode. Go figure. Okay. How you folks feeling so far? All right, so we've been writing to files. We still haven't read from files yet. We'll get to reading from files in a minute. Let's do one more here. Let's, you know what? Let's just change this here. Let's give this a full path. C:\\temp ooh, remember the backslash key is that escape sequence? You gotta put 2 backslashes in here. 2 backslashes is an escaped backslash, so you actually get a backslash. Oh my goodness. That's fun, right? So that'll put it specifically in C:\temp run log in your temp directory. And if you want to put a full path in there, you don't have to. So the paths in Windows, right? Windows need double backslash. Unix, Linux, they use the / and they're just, life is a lot easier for them. I don't know why we don't deal with that. Yeah. So let's see. Let's just see if we can put it there in a run log for fun. Let's see if it actually works. So C:\temp. Open the temp directory. Uh-oh. File not found. Do I not have, I must not have a temp directory. Here's one of those exceptions. Oop. Nope. No good. It failed. Okay. I don't have a temp directory. C:. There's no temp. Let's add a new folder called temp. Let's go in the temp folder. Let's hit run. Look at that. Now, come on, come on. Open my temp folder. Open the temp folder. Sorry, I'm in the middle of class right now. Come on, open the temp folder. Hydration, yeah, thank you so much. There's our run log. Look at that, we can put it in a directory. I can't click things anymore. It's just so slow. There we go, and our random number. Awesome. Okay. So we can do that. Again, I like relative paths. It just keeps everything like nice and local and around, but it's okay. All right, so we haven't done any file reading yet. Let's see. They're always close files. That's good. Yeah. You know, I think we're doing really well, actually. We are cruising here. Let me take a look at our schedule again. So we still have Wednesday as well. Come on. Yeah, we still got Wednesday, so we might be able to call it a day, and then we could come back on Wednesday for file reading. Or we could talk about it today, but then we're not going to have a lot for Wednesday. What do you guys think? And again, we're not in person. I'm sorry. I wish we were. But this would typically be the point where we would break and you guys would go try it, and I could walk around the room and do that sort of thing, more lab style. Labs are much harder to do. Someone had told me they use Zoom breakout sessions, and like everyone breaks out into groups and they all try it. Honestly, that sounded terrible to me, but that's just me. Right. Yeah, so let's do this. Let's do this. Let me throw a poll out there for you here, and you guys can vote. We can vote on this. So the question is files, and it's save reading file reading for Wednesday, or break and then reading. Okay, so it should be available there in Twitch chat for you. You can either vote for save the reading of files till Wednesday, or vote for take a break and then do reading files now, which I don't know what that means we're going to do on Wednesday, but that's okay. We can figure it out. Maybe I'll just tell dad jokes for 2 hours. That'd be a lot of fun, right? I think I had a couple good ones for you. I've been trying to save the ones that I found. Oh, yes, this one was particularly good. So, at an interview, someone was asking, this was just an office manager kind of job, like, hey, how are your skill? Are you any good at PowerPoint? And the candidate answered, I excel at it. And the interviewer looked at him and said, is that a Microsoft Office pun? And the candidate said, Word. That was a good one, right? All right, save reading for Wednesday. Wow, that has the most votes I've ever had. You guys were all about saving that for Wednesday. Okay, let me tell you one more joke. I think we'll call today a day. You guys can go practice, play with this sort of stuff. You're working on the project if you haven't started that yet. I definitely want to make sure you guys are most of the way done before the weekend, right? Not that I don't love talking to you fine folks on the weekend and helping you out, but it's difficult to schedule that. And if you are waiting and waiting and waiting to try and get in touch with me, and I say, well, I'm busy today, I can meet with you after my kids go to bed at night, and then you've lost an entire day of trying to work on the project, you're going to be upset. So let's just not save it for the last minute if we can help it. Why don't snakes need to weigh themselves? Because they have their own scales. Oh yeah, question for the project. Let's maybe take a look. This is good. This is good. When you add 1 or subtract 1 from the y-axis or x-axis tilts, do we do it at the same time, or do it one by one when it runs? You do one at a time. Yeah, so the idea is you get one action per, well, maybe like we'll call it a round. So like as we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer to the surface, we can take one action at a time. And that'll be change our x-axis tilt, change the y-axis tilt. Right? We'll do one action at a time. So, if we're not going to get lined up in time because those are starting as random numbers, we need to thrust, right, and get a little further away from the surface, because every round we're getting 1 unit closer to the surface. Does that make sense? So we're taking one action at a time inside of this loop. Cool. Cool. That's a good question. If you messaged me this morning, I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. No, sorry. I can take a look as soon as we take a break on Discord. Yep. And the self-destruct sequence is just a silly thing, but if they do that, we have to lock them out of the other commands or only let them enter our escape code. And, either they enter the escape code right or not, but they have to be stuck inside of that. Enter the escape code to abort. Enter the escape code to abort. Enter the escape. Please don't let them blow up our lander. It was just a joke that was an option. We weren't expecting people to touch that button or whatever silliness you want to say. Okay, and if it doesn't match, you should give them the list of valid commands. Like, oh, I don't know that command. Please enter one of these. X tilt positive, Y tilt. I don't know, whatever you want to call these things, right? For positive or negative, whatever you want to have them do. And we're just going to check, hey, did they enter the right string? Right? Does that string get entered? Does it match one of our commands? Okay, and feel free to have fun with it. If you want to add more, change the wording, you're welcome to play with it. This is just the minimum required options here. And then I should have the rubric out here, right? All of your 15 points. As long as the commands do these things, you're in good shape. Okay? All right, I got one other joke for you here too, right? What's the best type of snake to let your baby play with? A rattlesnake. Yeah, it was a whole bunch of snake jokes here, sorry. What kind of snake likes to build things? A boa constrictor? What kind of snake goes and works for the government? A civil serpent? All right, those are bad. Those are bad. All right, so I don't have anything else. I'll be hanging on in Discord then for a little while. I'll be happy to answer questions if you guys have them. Again, the class channel is fantastic because when you ask the question, everyone gets to see the question and the answer. And that's, you know, kind of pretends like we were meeting in person, and we can go from there. All right, it's been fun. You guys take care. Don't forget study group at noon, and you do get bonus points on your quiz scores if you attend study group. So I just made a separate category instead of trying to add 1 point to every single quiz. So just I'll be adding points to the bonus point section there for you, as those will just increase your overall quiz score. So I think I'm behind. I hadn't graded the other quiz yet. I got through all the projects last night, and then I was late. Volunteer tutors. So that's really cool. Typically, we go through our academic support center organization because they do all the vetting and process. And I think we've had problems with possible volunteers in the past. But yeah, you're welcome to hang out in Discord, answer questions. Appreciate it. All right, you guys, it's been fun. Happy Monday. You take care. I'll put on some music, play you guys out. I need like a stream ending. Here we go. We add another. Let's add another text here, right? Stream ending. Stream ending. Look at that. That's huge. Uh-oh. That's too big. That's a little bit too big, right? Maybe make that a little smaller. Probably doesn't need to be that size. How about that? Is that better? Stream ending. Yeah. Okay, I've got a closing page now. All right, you guys take care.